Alright.
And we are live.
Start for our East Blue review.
Welcome to an East Blue review, led by Tyler. Right?
Or Axel Montfort.
Or Axel, my bad.
Yeah, TheLegendmac.
Bring the energy.
Hey.
Goku of Light.
Number 1 Takoyaki Store.
Number 1 Takoyaki Store.
We are live.
Alright. So, East Blue obviously starts with Zelvidia. Anyone wants to talk about her?
Talk about who?
Avidia.
Olivia?
Avidia.
Or Alvida?
Alvidia. Oh,
Alvito, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I got a mouthful.
She was pretty much punking Kobe right off the gate.
Yeah.
That was so like,
Yeah.
it's funny.
All the way up to the get-go. I think that first scene you get with her is her kicking Kobe across the ship.
Oh yeah, Kobe. Like the way even Kobe came on the ship, Luffy was making fun of him. Like, how the hell do you get on the ship by accident? So it was pretty funny seeing that hilarious moment between Luffy and Kobe.
I just like how Luffy just looks at Kobe and he's like, I don't like you.
He's like, he's just straight up personal. Like, doesn't hold anything back. Just straight up real.
Charm there. Like, you find a little kid in need. It's like, nope, don't like you.
But that's what makes Luffy Luffy. Like, he's not gonna hide anything from you. He just says what's on his mind.
Yep, tells us how it is.
It tells a lot from the characters from the very start. We're already learning how Luffy's personality is from that.
Oh yeah, like it just once you see that, you're like, I like this dude. Like this guy, he just straight off the bat keeps it real. Doesn't hide anything from the viewers. Like, okay, this guy's a good main character. Kind of dumb, but whatever.
Majority of main characters are dumb. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At least above.
At least 60 to 70%.
Did you post the links earlier posted?
Yeah, I posted a link to Planet Nerdum. I posted in These Nuts too.
Hey, whoa, these nuts.
Erickson.
Well, I left those groups, so if you want me to share it, you gotta post in my group.
I can go ahead and do that right now. Eric can introduce himself.
I gotta talk on my freaking snow. So whose channel is this?
Ooh, what was that? That was a rough noise.
This is my channel.
Oh, okay.
We're on Axel's channel.
Talking about that East Blue.
East Blue, yeah. Today's topic is East Blue.
Oh, okay.
Alvida, go.
Yeah, so we're basically talking about the fat bitch that starts the story. Basically she's a hater. Luffy doesn't like her. He's real upfront about it. He doesn't hold back. He's different from the usual main character. Coming off the first episode, we usually have a main character that's really timid or doesn't really know his direction yet. In this anime specifically, Luffy already knows what he's after coming off the first episode, so we get flashback a little bit later on instead of it starting with him being a little kid. And so that's pretty cool. Going into the beginning, we already set the tempo that Luffy is a badass, and then kind of see how he got to be a badass instead of him starting off as a wimp and watching him work his way up. That's probably my first thing about the first episode. And on top of that, I like Kobe in particular because out of the characters that I see in the series, in my opinion, he has the most character development.
So most.
Yeah.
Character-wise, yes.
The man aged 3 years and 6 months.
Yes.
Hey, went from a wimp to a boss.
That's what happens when you work out, I guess.
What happens when you fuck with Garp? When you fuck with Garp, that's what I was gonna say. That's what happens when you fuck with Garp.
Yeah, I mean,
Shake them up.
stress can put on age. That's what they said, so.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
We're also introduced to Devil Fruits.
Yes.
And hockey with what Shanks did to the. I don't know if it was a sea king, but it was some kind of sea monster.
We didn't know what it was back then, though.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. We were just like, oh, that's strange. And then we moved on.
but they actually don't happen right away. Like you get the whole ship sequence, and it kind of fills in afterwards.
Well,
Mhm.
the fact that he he essentially lost an arm would imply that he didn't have that same kind of hockey at that point. Or
Mhm.
another point that it might bring up would be that so we know that water basically neutralizes people with a devil fruit, but there has to be something that's probably going to neutralize hockey. So it could either be water or another element as well. That's what I think. I think itself that if hockey keeps getting built up stronger and stronger, it's going to make the devil fruits really irrelevant. Like even with the fact of awakening, we get a lot more abilities with the devil fruits. Still, like somebody like Shanks that could walk up to you and just make you KO based on his conqueror's hockey is a big advantage.
Mhm.
Obviously, we've only seen it necessarily used on the fodder characters or the weaker characters, but
Mhm.
that was already a while back. Some years have passed since then, so and I don't think that Shanks ever stops getting stronger. I think that one of the big parts of it is his strength, and I won't go too far into it because we're focusing on East Blue, but
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I think that Shanks didn't have that kind of hockey at that point. I think
It's
that
something that's the reason why he lost his arm.
yeah,
Yes.
I think the development of his hockey comes with the fact that he lost his arm. Prior to that, I believe he was a really good swordsman, similar to Mihawk, and I think that once he lost his arm, he's substituted by gaining hockey.
I think someone said, I forget if it was in an SBS or something. Someone said that Oda like wasn't planning on using Shanks initially as like anything big, and then like he like had that monster eat off his arm, because that joint doesn't make sense if you really think about it, because like the level of which Shanks is on, even at that time, like he should have had some sort of observation hockey where that wouldn't have happened, but
Mhm.
But
apparently he
no,
wasn't gonna use Shanks at
not
first.
necessarily because I mean the only person that's supposed to be able to communicate with the monsters is Goldie Roger. So even if he did have like a conqueror's hockey or any form of hockey, that wouldn't have stopped him from getting attacked by the monster.
No, but then he would have
He's
known the monster was there, so he could have just like,
Yeah, but
or
he's
just
not.
attacked it before.
He's not a.
Whitebeard did mention like, yo, you went to the weakest sea in the whole world and lost your arm. So like, I don't know, maybe Shanks just lost his arm on purpose. He didn't
Well,
care.
yeah, because
To teach Luffy a lesson.
Shanks implies that it was a sacrifice and an investment in the future. So that
So,
means that he knew what was going to happen. He wasn't caught by surprise.
Yeah,
definitely.
and that's the more the sales explanation. But a lot of the stuff in East Blue was really planned. The series is not planned to be nearly as long as it is now. You can see where it changes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It does more so after East Blue, so I'll talk about that in later streams.
Yeah,
But a
it
lot of stuff
was.
in East Blue is right big deals. Like Kuro was supposed to be a big deal. Dawn
Well,
Creek was one of
well,
the biggest groups.
one of the things is the original first arc of the story is based on Romance Dawn, so it's missing a lot of the elements that we currently have. Like for example, One Piece was originally more of like just an adventure shonen, but once that it passes the Alabasta arc is once we gain like the mystery and the deepness of the quality of the show. So prior to the Alabasta arc, I believe that the person that's meant to be the main villain, quote unquote, would be Crocodile. And
Mhm.
I think that originally the story more or less is meant for like Luffy to save the kingdom of Alabasta.
Okay.
I think initially Crocodile was supposed to be one of the main last villains. But I'm not going to really go on that because that's the Alabasta. We're focused on East Blue.
We saw a little bit of the stuff from Alabasta in the Arlong Park um, uh,
Well,
arc.
and the biggest moment in East Blue is in Loguetown.
Yes.
Basically, it's the send off of the pirates, and it's also the when we get revealed dragon, which brings a lot more to the story because at that point the story really can't end once we're introduced to Dragon because he wasn't going to come in Alabasta really. So I
Mhm.
mean that to me help extends the story on top of cementing Luffy's legacy. It's something that even to the current storyline is always brought up because it's affected a lot of people even based on either A when Goldie Roger was executed or B when Luffy was almost executed.
Mhm. It brings more focus to the story after or once we get to Loguetown.
Yeah.
It also brings a lot of confusion and questions as his appearance. Like, everyone was completely lost on what he was doing.
I believe that
Still today, it's debate on how he liked to win and all that.
well I believe that Dragon is a Logia user and that essentially similar like we've seen with Ace and how he affected the weather. I believe similar things can happen when you master your hockey, because we never seen Ace actually have the hockey ability. He did it basically off of like just happened. It was like an awakening kind of thing. Like it just happened naturally based on who Ace was. Because if you watch that episode or read the manga, he didn't intend to do that. And all the side characters are commenting on how it became like hot and it's usually like a snowy town and all this other stuff. So I believe that if he really is a Logia user and more likely not a wind user, that his ability of awakening would just affect the whole town. Like he could easily have a tornado or various winds traveling through the city.
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoy the whole wind thing, but
Yeah.
I actually think that he has someone in his crew who manipulates weather, because Kuma's always been with him. And, I mean, like, I know this later on, but Kuma sent Nami straight to the weather island. Like, the island's always moving. How do you know where it was?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
And on the island, all the younger people were gone, and just old men. And everywhere Dragon went, he recruited all the young men. Like, pretty people. So I think Dragon already went to the weather island with warriors.
Prior to everything that happened in that story arc, Kuma asks as a final request to Vegapunk that he is programmed to protect the Straw Hats and their ship. So even prior to that, it was already in his programming. So even if he didn't know where the Wind Island was, Vegapunk could very easily find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's more or less where I look at it. I think that.
Well, he subconscious. I mean, when he did that, it was still his conscience. He still hasn't lost it. But I still think that, I don't know, it could be more to Vegapunk, but it was his own actions that took them out.
Well, no, so like the way they explain it is that Kuma's final action was to ask Vegapunk to do that for him, but the moment that he left the Marines, he was already completely under their control. So that was part of his programming to help them. It wasn't a free choice. His free choice came in the ability to ask Dr. Vegapunk for help.
Mm-hmm.
He was still able to make some, like he didn't fully lose all. He lost like parts at a time. Like every so often, he lose a little more of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fully lose it until the attack ship when he guarded the ship.
What was that noise? Anybody else hear that, or was that just me?
Yeah, I heard it.
That was his outro.
Right? That was like. Oh, that was that Eric guy, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we're really way off topic. Talking from Dragon.
I'm just following you, host.
Back to Loguetown. A bunch of audio just cut out.
Admiral Black asked who our favorite East Blue villain is.
I have to say Arlong.
Arlong, hands down. He's the personal favorite even now.
Yeah, as much as I like Buggy, I gotta go with Arlong.
Arlong, Buggy, I don't really see much as a villain anymore.
Yeah, he was just an antagonist just once.
The fact that I consider the Marines a villain, and especially when most of them are introduced, it's in a more of a shady manner. I would say that Smoke is considered a villain in East Blue, and Smoker would be my favorite villain of East Blue.
I gotta say, yo, Kuro, Captain Kuro, the man who
Yo,
planned
100
it all
plans,
out.
100 plans.
Yeah, didn't in SBS Oda said that he's like the second most intelligent character at that point in time.
So that was another thing that I brought up to people too, because like it says that he has 100 plans, right? But we never seen actually 100 plans like in active or anything like similar to that. It's just like a title. So I mean, I think that the whole Kaido thing is real similar to that. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
The thing about Kuro is, from the characters introduced prior to the East Blue, he was the second smartest.
Yeah, it was someone on Shanks' crew who was the smartest at that time.
Ben Beckon.
Yes, Ben Beckman, yes.
Ooh, Kizaru. What about what was I gonna say something about? Yeah, I lost my mind. I was gonna say something right now. Okay, let me try to get it back.
Can I say something about Dragon and Loguetown? Right now, there's two main theories going around about his control of weather. One is like it's an extreme form of Conqueror's Haki, and then the other one is he's got some kind of devil fruit that allows him to control the weather. But I think it's probably more likely that he has some kind of like advanced climate attack. It's just
Conqueror's Haki? I've seen a lot of stuff about Dragon, like ancient weapons. He might have an ancient weapon. It might be his haki, or it might just be a devil fruit. To be honest, I'm just lost. Like I don't know which one it is. I'm leaning towards haki.
It could be anything.
Yeah, it can be anything. To be honest, you know the thing about the East Blue was really interesting. Jinbei was foreshadowed so early on when Arlong was introduced. Yeah,
even before like on their way there, he was foreshadowed.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, oh my, he's like, Arlong. He's said to be, they say the right hand man or, the right hand man to Jinbei?
I think they said he was his brother.
Oh, his brother, yeah. Oh, yes. So, just right there, that's that older foreshadowing. Ways in the future.
Oh, yeah, Admiral Black wants to know, do you think Arlong was more of a villain than Don Krieg or Kuro in terms of their motives?
I think the way it was set up was Arlong was like the greatest villain of the East Blue at the time because he had the highest bounty up until Luffy got his bounty.
Arlong actually would have had a higher bounty. It wasn't for him paying off the Marines and
it would have been.
The whole thing with Jinbei. Jinbei became a Shikibukai. Their bounties are frozen. If you send them to the East Blue, then you start bribing them.
Yes.
And with Arlong, like I feel like he was like that villain. Like he controlled areas of Orange County, like Orange County, or was it Orange Town?
So I think that you guys are giving Arlong way too much hype. All right, I'm gonna say.
If you ask me, I think Don Krieg was a short stick. He was just greedy. Kuro.
He's one of the most two-dimensional villains in One Piece.
Well, I mean, let's say this off of terms of who had the most intention. Then it might be like Don Krieg or Arlong or Kuro or these people. But if we're going off who's the most successful or who's the most important villain out of this area, it's gonna be Buggy. He's the only one that rises. He rises from the ashes. Like all of these people are fucking fodder at this point.
I think we're talking about just those three. I think Don Krieg would fall short. And the only reason why I put Arlong above Kuro is Kuro spent all those years undercover, while Arlong just walked there with an iron fist.
Yo, Kuro is super gay, yo. Like you lost to Usopp and his boy, like that whole little thing, like nah.
Well, Kuro didn't lose to Usopp.
He lost to the Usopp arc though. Like all of that was around Usopp. That was the whole point of that. And like Usopp's
character. He has he's
an important character, but I think for me personally, after the time skip, Usopp and Frankie are the most disappointing characters of the series. So
I'm not disappointed with Usopp at all.
I'm not.
He's a coward.
I would say
the whole thing about a coward though is he lost all of his memories of standing up to the government and Soldier King. All that went was Robin.
He shouldn't need memories for that though. That should be his instinct. He's supposed to be a warrior.
Well, his instinctively did turn around and stood up, but
he hid majority of the time, and I mean, it was just another goofy arc of him getting lucky. That's all it is. It's not him like being strong. He doesn't go pull a Luffy. He doesn't pull a Zoro. He's nowhere near a big three. He's just there.
It's the hockey.
He's probably honestly, Robin is probably stronger than him. Let's put it that way.
Well, people treat Robin as one of the strongest members. I don't want to see that insult.
I mean, okay, when there's like nine members, and you're in the 4th or 5th slot, you're not the strongest. You're in the average of the medium.
But
only the big three would be considered the strongest.
Usopp to be one of the weaker of the bunch. Usopp's always going to be one of the weaker.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. That's disappointing, though. Like, how are you going to sit here and claim that you're going to be this great warrior and you're going to have all these people bow down to you and all this other stuff? He's pretty much just talk. He just has a big mouth.
Well, right now he does have other people bowing down to him. Quite a few people.
Yeah. The thing about Usopp is he may be that coward, but he's trying, and somehow it always works out. A lot like Buggy.
Yeah, he's very similar to Buggy in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. I got a mouthful, so I'm not going to respond yet, but go ahead.
I mean, I get why people would be upset, but I never expected him to be, walking through, taking out generals like nothing. Like, I don't expect him to cut him out in half like Zoro or anything like that.
Yeah,
I don't expect him to be on the power tier of the big three, but I expect him to be stronger than a girl.
But personally, if you ask me, I would actually consider Usopp the fourth most important, and
No.
he has the biggest chance of succeeding.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Let me say this. If you remove Usopp from the story, do you think the story doesn't continue?
The story would lack greatly. Usopp plays
maybe a
important.
big chunk of the
It's
story.
not about the development he brings to it. It's about can they complete the story or the quest without him. The same that they could complete the story.
Well, I'm saying without him, Robin would have died and a bunch of shit would have happened. Like, they would have lost a lot.
There would be in completely different battles if Usopp wasn't involved, so you can't look at past battles like that. What I'm saying is the actual development of the story, what they're going after, the One Piece. Do you think they can't acquire the One Piece without Usopp? That's what I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, they can acquire it with anyone, but the fact is, this is where they're working with.
Well, no, because like this is the thing. You could eliminate like somebody like Robin, and the story could still be completed because Robin was entered after the whole Romance Dawn arc.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, if you were to eliminate Usopp, do you think the same thing can be said for Usopp, or do you think that they don't get to the One Piece without him? Is what I'm asking you.
I believe they will get to the One Piece with everyone in the crew.
But I'm saying if they were missing members, is what I'm saying. Like if Usopp was out of the crew, say Usopp never went back when he left in everything during that. I think it's Water 7 or something like that.
I do believe if Usopp never came back, they would go. I think if anyone, even Zoro, Zoro's leaves, Luffy still get to One Piece Pirate King.
I don't believe that. I don't think if Zoro's eliminated from the story, Luffy
will always
because
through some other way.
At a certain point, I honestly think that Zoro's almost as strong as Luffy, if not as strong. So to sit there and say that he can make it to Pirate King without him is a big jump because I mean I don't think Gold D. Roger would have made Pirate King without Rayleigh.
I believe if Zoro to leave, Luffy will find someone else. They always do, and it's just Luffy will always prevail. That's what always happens. Watch every arc, no matter what's thrown at them, they find a way around it.
That's going off of the fact that it's a shonen, though. That can be said about any shonen out there.
Yeah,
you can take the main character and be like, they're gonna make it no matter what. So that's not relevant to the actual argument of could he do it without Zoro. It's like if Zoro wasn't there, how would he do it? Like what would happen if Zoro was gone? Like how does Luffy win a lot of these battles?
Sanji for one.
So all of a sudden Sanji's God tier. Everybody wants to hate on my boy Sanji, but now he's God tier. Zoro's gone, huh?
Well, Sanji's at Zoro's level. They've always been neck and neck.
I mean, at the current moment, it hasn't been shown that they're at the same level. While I do prefer Sanji, I don't think he's as strong as Zoro, at least physically.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit below Zoro, but they're pretty close.
I do think Zoro's a little bit ahead, but I do think they're neck and neck. I think they've always been like that through the whole series.
Because the whole thing has been determined that Luffy's an underdog and that it's not about power scales. It's about scenarios and circumstances to winning fights. So that being said, there's no clarifying that Luffy is stronger than Zoro. Because Zoro is the main one to fight actual one-on-one sword fights to the end. You know, nobody's ever really helped Zoro win his fights, opposed to Luffy where he gets a lot of assistance from different characters.
And some characters, but
You know what I'm saying though? Like Luffy's always in a scenario where, for example, with like Crocodile, where he lost, had to come back, and it was a big fight. You know, it was a stage fight. Yeah. And then most of the other people he fight are long. He falls in the water and he has to get saved. You know, there's always a scenario where Luffy has to get in somebody's help. He hardly wins fights by himself. It's real rare to see Luffy just solo somebody. But Zoro solos everybody. Who can Zoro say they have a chance?
Not sure, though. He also fights weaker people too.
You said Zoro fights weaker people? Not always.
Typically, like Hachi, Oolong could probably one-shot Hachi. With Mr. One, I can't think of his name. Daz Bones. How Mihawk tossed him aside like nothing, and Crocodile clashes. Like they're all lack heavily. Like I mean, I don't even think you compare Pika to Don Flamingo. Like there's no question.
Well, yeah,
no comparison.
So like, there's always a gap between the person Luffy fights Zoro, typically, unless it's more of a
the whole thing about that is, do you not think that Zoro would stand a chance against some of these people? Like
Well, I do
For-
think he can't change.
Well, then or now?
Craig or whatever his name was, when he first came into the story, I think Zoro could have beat him too. I don't think Luffy had to just beat him right there. I think if Hawkeye wasn't involved right there, like Zoro could very easily beat him. I
I
mean,
think you're right about that.
yeah.
I feel like Annie's lobbies where like everything will start. You can start to see the cement that the difference in strength. Because like Lucci was double the strength of Kaku. Like
Yeah.
he was like 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, coming into the current storyline, I would say that Luffy is stronger. But what I'm saying is,
So
that
is Admiral Black?
I'm not sure, but prior to
Yo,
like
Axel.
a lot of
Is Admiral
Cinema
Link?
Link or something.
Is what?
Why
Are you
did
gonna send Admiral Link?
I don't know. Did he ask for one?
No, because he's like, I thought he
Did
was
he ask for
joining.
one?
Come back.
Let me.
Okay, well,
Come back or not.
all I was necessarily saying is that prior to the time skip and everything that happens, like with Ace dying and everything, like prior in the early part, like East Blue, since we're focusing on East Blue specifically, I don't think that in East Blue at any time is Luffy stronger than Zoro. Like for the majority of East Blue, I believe they're at the same strength.
Yeah, probably. Like, it wasn't for Zoro's injuries from Mihawk, he might have been able to fight Arlong in the same tier.
Yeah, he might have. I would be interested in knowing whether, like, at one point, Luffy matched Zoro in terms of power and strength, because Zoro had he was quite notorious prior to joining the Straw Hats.
Yeah, he was the one that had the reputation prior to any of this. Like he's the pirate hunter. You know what I mean? And on top of that, to receive a title like the Pirate Hunter, he must have taken down a few notable pirates in the East Blue.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, to me that speaks about it,
Like, when Zoro first approached Buggy, he acted like his bounty was a joke. So I would think that Zoro was taking out plenty of people around Buggy's ring.
And another thing too is it's been a big point that the swordsmen are vital to the crews, to One Piece, and everything in general. And if it's foreshadowed that Zoro is going to become the greatest swordsman, I can't see him being too much weaker than Luffy at the end series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Zoro or Sanji being too much weaker. They're the monster trio for a reason.
Yeah.
But aside from that, let's focus more on the East Blue now.
For the 8th time.
East Blue review, and we barely talked about it.
It's because it's such a short arc, like, honestly.
Well, I mean, it started with Alveria.
Alvida.
Yeah, I always get it wrong. But yeah.
Then we got Captain
She
Morgan.
was made fodder. She wasn't really that important. But we talked about how she brought in...
She's only important for Kobe's origin.
Yeah. So coming from that, we go straight to Axon Morgan and talk about how he got Zoro.
Oh yeah, Zoro's introduction as a beast. Like the first episode was pretty much a great cliffhanger. Like when Kobe was explaining Zoro, I was like, who the hell is this dude? I thought he was gonna be a villain the whole time. The way they hyped it up, like, oh, he's the bounty hunter. And then Luffy's like, yo, let me ask him to join my crew, So that caught me by surprise.
Yeah, they were setting him up as if was going to be a
Gonna hunt Luffy down.
Mm.
And then Luffy's like, I'm making him join.
I'm like, bruh, that's how it is? This guy surprised me every minute.
That's what I do. I'm getting everybody to join my crew.
Luffy really wanted to. He can kick everyone's ass, tell him to join. Imagine him kicking Crocodile's ass, yelling at him to join his crew.
I don't think when he first met Zoro, he could have kicked his ass and made him join his crew.
I think it would have been...
Because even if it would have broken into like a tie situation, I don't think Zoro's like, okay.
I think they were about equal, and then Zoro probably got some more flesh wounds because of the sword.
You mean Luffy? I mean, without all the hockeys being in place, like if it's just base strength, like in the very beginning, I feel like Zoro could beat Luffy because he has techniques, he has training, like all these different elements that come into play.
Mm-hmm.
What if Luffy
he has Garp's
in East Blue?
Like his family. He comes from a strong family. Luffy does, and I think that he's supposed to be inheriting Garp's strength. So that's how I see it.
Hey, yo, I was watching the past stream right now, and I was wondering when you were talking, I was like, that ain't matching with his lips, yo. Oh shit! I had the wrong window open. That's good stuff. So, I mean, I think essentially what's kind of a crucial thing too is who the matchup against, like you said, going into the future that Luffy matches higher tier characters. So I don't think that we know a pinnacle of Zoro's strength, and I think we really need like a Zoro flashback like before East Blue. Like I think that would just be one of the coolest things, honestly. Like fuck a Sabo episode. I want a Zoro episode, to be honest. Like
Mhm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Sabo is cool or whatever, but I don't follow the hype like that, like to that extent where it's like just because he's in a few chapters now he's the best character ever. Like
Mhm.
he, I mean, and another thing is like it shows that he has guilt over not helping Ace and all them. So that like kind of implies like that he could have helped them. Like I don't know, I don't like that. Now I feel like he's just a bad brother, and I'm just yeah.
I think
I don't know. Ace is my favorite character, so to hear that somebody could have saved Ace and they didn't, I'm just like, dang, you're so not cool.
I'm a Black.
Oh shit.
Oh, hey.
Admiral Black in the house.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good? How about you?
Good. Just another afternoon.
Talking about the East Blue greatness.
So that actually brings up the question if Zoro will ever get conquered Taki.
No.
That's,
I
I'm gonna
don't.
say. I'm
Well,
gonna say no.
there's like a filler scene at 70 Archipelago where there's a bunch of bounty hunters who are trying to get Zoro, and he just like I don't know. It's like he just psychs them out. He doesn't,
he
doesn't knock them out, but it's like
looks at them and
they open the door for that possibility.
But
Okay, I have one
personally,
question.
I really don't think that he will. In the fact that
Talking, like, is this whole live stream
They're
supposed to be
guilty.
pre-East Blue? Like, is this all East Blue, or are we talking
It's pretty much East
Well,
Blue.
we're
We're
starting off-
jumping everywhere.
off
We're
quite
going
a bit.
wherever we want. So if
about
you have
we seem to
anything,
be doing?
whatever,
Both? Okay.
whatever's relevant. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
we should
just making sure. I
talk
didn't want to say
about East
that
Blue
was
before we
all
answer any questions.
Okay, cool. So, man, first of all, I'm pretty hyped to be here right now because I've been going back and I've been rereading One Piece since the beginning. Because when I first started reading One Piece, I actually picked up at Skypiea and I watched all the way to current, and then I was like, John's always telling me like, hey, you gotta go back, you missed stuff.
That was probably kind of weird, huh? Just jumping in like right there at Skypiea.
No, actually, no, because I got it right when they landed. So, like, everything else, it's like, I didn't need to go back because they explained throughout the story what happened. But I chose to go back because I'm like, oh, there's so many little things that I wish I would have saw. Like,
Did you watch other animes prior to One Piece?
Yeah, I did, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is because just about anybody I know, like that watches One Piece anywhere from besides the beginning, they think it looks like the most chaotic thing they've ever seen. So
No,
like
I
that's
love
why.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he actually came into it at a good point.
Yeah.
As opposed to say Marineford, like halfway through Marineford, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. So
like,
now I've gone back. I've gone back and I've reread, and I was right now in my mind. So there's like so many things that I'd like to talk about with you guys.
So okay, well let us know. Why don't you start then, since you just got in here? Like, what was your favorite part of East Blue?
My favorite part of East Blue?
Yeah.
I liked Arlong mainly because of that scene, the one scene that makes me cry, whether I read it in the manga. They're crying.
His audio's cutting out.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like,
lagging.
that's not just me, right? Yeah, like my nigga Admiral's turning into a robot.
It
Cyborg
makes me
Black.
cry every time. And I like Arlong because Arlong was bad.
Hold on. My bad to cut you off, but can you repeat yourself because your audio was messing up?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, we can hear you now,
Now
but
it's good.
right when you were saying what your favorite part was, you started like doing the robot and shit.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm using John's computer, so I don't know what's wrong.
No worries. He does that sometimes too.
Explain to them.
What I was saying though is the reason I actually like Arlong as a villain is because he was bad. He was bad. He wanted control. But I actually don't consider him to be the worst villain in East Blue. actually consider Kuro to be more of a villain than Arlong was in East Blue.
Yeah, Keurig's more of a traditional villain.
Yeah.
Well, he was just more methodical. Like, he was ruthless. Like, he was straight living with the family. Like,
Yeah, I think it's very messed up. Like, you can't befriend somebody for 3 years and pretend like you're there, like you're part of their family, and then turn around because he was gonna kill everybody. He was gonna massacre everybody in the entire village, and I'm like, that's villainous. Arlong, he wasn't killing anybody unless they didn't pay. Like, he didn't just go out and be like, oh, I care for these people. I'm gonna
you
kill
know,
them.
the fact that you brought up the Arlong thing, I could say, like, my favorite scene out of all of East Blue is when Nami is, like, digging the tattoo out of her arm. That's, like,
Yeah,
oh
that
my
was
god. That was, like, the fucking most epic part. Like, she was
Epic
painting so
walk.
much that she, like, I was like, dang. That was that realness. Because I have a whole bunch of tattoos, so it was just, for me, that was, like, really crazy.
And right after that was the epic walk.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
bruh. And then that's when she puts Luffy, she has Luffy's hat on. Oh, bro, that's, like, my favorite picture. Nami Swan.
What about you, Axel? What's your favorite part of East Blue?
Yeah.
That's kind of difficult to say. The favorite part has always been Arlong. Like, that's some of my favorite arcs to date.
What about it?
I really enjoy Arlong's personality, but there's a bunch of things that tied in. And it was the very first part in the series that really kind of like pulled at you, made you feel sad, want to cry. Like, you brought an emotion, like more of an emotional attachment than any other arc.
What I like about Arlong is he actually looked like a villain. Like, compared to a lot of the
Oh,
other
yeah,
East Blue people, he looked villainous. Like, you saw him and you knew right away he was a villain.
Villain.
It was the first time we saw a fiction too, and he's just like a giant,
Yeah.
huge, monstrous creature. We're like, what the hell?
Well, I think the coolest thing about Arlong was that, like, everybody else, when they seen Luffy flex, they got a little nervous. Like, they were like, oh shit, this kid's kind of strong. But, like, when Arlong seen Luffy, he was just like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're trying to disrespect me? Like, this is
Well-
Arlong Park.
Well, Kuro did that too, though.
No, yeah. But, like, see, Kuro's number 2 was a punk. Like, the guy with the glasses or whatever, the little groovy guy, he punked out right away.
Django.
Yeah, yes, you would know his name. Yes, him. And then,
Oh, how do you guys feel about Django joining the Marines?
yo, sketch.
Enjoy the little comic guy with full body.
That was weird. They just entered this dancing competition with what was the guy's?
Well, what was really weird about
Nobody?
it? What was really weird about it, the whole thing during the Kobe arc? They made a big point of saying that, like, so, like, when Luffy left, he started a fight with Kobe, so that way Kobe looked like he wasn't friends with pirates, just to get him in the Marines easier. But then this guy that is a pirate just joins the Marines.
Yes, a known pirate.
Yeah, a known pirate at that. So I thought that was kind of like plot hole city, but
hmm
Well,
Well, he joined it under Hina. She kind of just like permitted it.
Well, the thing is, though, he did go to trial, though. He had a trial and everything. So it's not like he he was a pirate that joined. They did put him through trial, right? I mean, he
Yeah,
was,
there's
he
a little
was
trial.
judged. Yeah, so it's not like he's just like
Oh, that's right.
a
Yeah,
pirate
yeah,
that joined.
yes.
The
Yeah.
thing about it though is Hina abused her powers and just kind of wrote him off, freed him, let him serve under her.
Yeah.
As sentence.
I like Hina. I like her
I
a
was just
lot.
gonna say that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I like
dope.
Hina's character a lot.
I
She's
thought
actually my favorite.
it's so random. For to be Django's rival, he's just that one dude that Sanji punked in his introduction.
Right before Bartier.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, right when they started, that one.
Goldbuster. Was this Goldbuster?
Bragging about his rank. It was a super low rank.
The
And
captain?
Sanji kicked his ass, nothing.
Mm.
Lower than captain, maybe, something like
I
that.
don't even think he was. I think he was like a sergeant or something.
Yes, yeah, Sergeant.
Yeah.
And he was all bragging about it. And he was like, they already beat people way higher than that. Like Morgan, the higher rank.
Like, who the hell are you? And he thought it was his stuff, and then Sanji just pretty much G-checked him.
Sanji
told
took
him.
him off.
Oh, how about this? How about not post who do you guys think
You're cutting off, man.
was was more useful to the entire
Useful?
Useful to the entire. And then it cut off.
Whoever is the most useful to the entire story?
Most useful.
Are you counting in the fights or just like the plot period, like the whole plot?
Oh, just
All right, I'm back, yo. What are we talking about?
strength. It's not just physical strength because I'm like, for example, Nami. She had her uses outside of battle. Like,
Yeah, so not counting fights, who's the most useful plot-wise?
yeah, in
Out
East
of
Blue.
who? Out of who?
Out of the
Out of-
Straw Hats, in East Blue, not after East Blue, only in East Blue, who's the most useful Straw Hat?
I would say
Sanji.
Nami because they would be lost without her. They'd still be lost without her.
I say Sanji. Because
Sanji-
without
Sanji
Sanji,
and
they would have
Wainan.
died when they fell into the water, and on top of that, he's the cook, and he's one of the people listed as Luffy requiring for his crew.
But yeah, but if you count the East Blue only, his
Yeah.
only use was rescuing Luffy from the water and Arlong Park.
Yeah, but if we're doing that, then Nami stole the ship and basically put them into a peril.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that she's useful. She
Yeah,
almost
but then
got
you
them
have
killed.
Look at everything. Exactly.
after that where she navigating. I think Nami. I vote Nami. I'm with my boy Takoyaki Shop.
If we're you just said though we're voting everything in East Blue, not everything
Nami
after East Blue.
navigated. Yeah, Nami. They wouldn't have gotten in.
She stole their ship and left them.
Lost as fuck. I mean, the guy showed up in a barrel. If not for Nami, he would not have gotten anywhere.
If Nami from Buggy, they would never gotten to Sanji, but then she
Yeah.
dished and screwed him over there.
If you would remove
That,
Nami,
no, no,
honestly,
that's assuming though that they couldn't find another navigator.
well, I mean, in East Blue, how many navigators did you see?
How long were we in East Blue though? Like,
In East Blue, we saw, for example, Loguetown. We saw cooks. We saw chefs. Sanji could have been replaced. We saw swordsmen the entire time in East Blue. We saw so many swordsmen. Zoro could have been replaced. How many navigators did you see in East Blue? They could have replaced Nami.
0.
yeah, I can't hear.
Yeah,
what's
really,
that.
the only other navigator we come across is Kobe.
Was it audio?
Yo, I know what's with all these crazy background sounds. Can you guys not just sit down? Look.
Yeah. Kobe was the only other one that was a navigator, and he wasn't going to become a pirate. So who else is there other than Nami? So you can't really say
I
that.
know you're right. I can't think of any navigators off the top of my head, but I'm just saying like as far as who I felt like because it was a personal opinion. You know, it's not a factual thing.
Yeah, of course.
If you ask me, it'll be between Zoro and Nami.
Nami. Zoro did a lot. He did a lot. That's for sure.
I
I
mean,
think my favorite.
He kind of got lost quite a bit. He's the one who kind of carried like together. Like every time Luffy got there or something, he stood up and got Sanji and stuff. And he's the one who went into the Fishman Island arc, took everyone on by himself.
I think was the biggest, most important moment in East Blue that helped expand the plot into what would future become One Piece that it is today.
Would help most shape it?
Yes, one event in East Blue that helped shape One Piece into what it is today.
I would say the whole thing with Dragon, because that sort of, allowed them to escape, and it established a whole bunch of story plot-wise that they would address later on down the road.
For me, yeah, I think it'd be when Luffy escaped that near-death situation.
Which one?
The one with the lightning. And Buggy was so confident that he had Luffy's neck cut off.
Oh, yeah.
That one I was actually pretty surprising. Like, where the hell did that come from? Some people were confused.
Yeah, like people just what assume right now is it's gonna be Dragon who did that.
The Dragon's the one everyone thinks.
No sense.
Which, I mean, Dragon was there. He would want to save Luffy, but I don't know. Like, there's so many questions behind it still.
Yeah. It was
Like
certainly extraordinary circumstance, to say the least. And everyone was reacting as if someone specifically had intervened somehow. Smoker said the same thing. Sanji were like, okay, what the hell just happens?
Everyone was dumbfounded.
Yes, mouth agape, mouths agape.
And like,
let's see. See, there's a few moments that I think are very important to the story. One is obviously Mihawk cutting Zoro, obviously, because it helps explain Zoro's. It helps develop Zoro's character, and it explains why he's so strong in the future, and why he is the way he had Little Garden. The guy was going to cut off his leg because he didn't want to lose. Like that's dedication to me. If you're willing to cut off your own limb to win a fight, or at least to be able to fight, that's something for me, and I think that helps explain why Zoro is so, why he's the way he is, why he one-shot Pika, like, it just, a little bit.
Yeah, it helps explain a lot. It shows how stupid he could be. Cut off a limb for one extra hit.
Yeah, he's very impulsive in his decisions.
Very, something I would say would be, another real.
You know what?
Kind of thing. Think back, because East Blue was.
The East Blue was
happened. All the action happened in the Grand Line.
Yeah, his audio's cutting out again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it was. I think the actual most important thing that people actually overlook a lot would be the defeat of Captain Morgan. And here's why. Morgan showed the corruption in the world government. If they never would have established that the world government is corrupt in East Blue, you never would have understood Virgo. You would have never understood why Akainu and Aokiji had to fight. It set the bar for all these things with the Marines because it established.
Yeah, it established
that there's different.
It established the both the good and the evil that is within the Marines. Go ahead.
Captain Morgan, didn't he cut from behind and escape?
Yeah, I believe.
Oh yeah.
That was a big part of how Hanako came close to Kobe.
See how he comes back. Because could you imagine Captain X Morgan with hockey?
Yeah, that's weird.
I wouldn't care. I would like it. Admiral Black, I swear, you're probably pacifist or something.
It's the curse of the internet connection.
Yes.
I had it last time.
Two characters.
Just echoing that there. There's another big topic we brought up about Zeff. What was it, Red Leg Zeff?
Oh, Red Leg Zeff.
Yeah, forgot about that. See, that was really about Zeff. I mean, that was so. Like, okay, well, I remember watching the anime and seeing and seeing how different it was in the manga, because it was different. So what happened? Yeah, it was a little more in the manga. It was a little more touching, and his legs, and with Sanji and everything, and it made you feel for him for the anime. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. If you guys remember back that far.
Like in the manga, he ate his own leg, right? And like in the anime, I was watching it wasn't.
Wasn't it cut off when the ship sank in the anime?
Mm-hmm. When the anchor.
Yeah, I think. And in the manga, he actually ate his legs.
Yeah. Which is really there.
The Sanji because he just laid to keep himself alive.
Which is really like even if he didn't like. And when I was watching the first time in the anime, I was still surprised when he didn't eat anything. But in the manga, the man ate his own leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He's the real deal.
Exactly.
I guess you could say he's the Rayleigh of the East Blue.
Oh, yeah, that's a great reference. Yeah.
Because he plays that mentor character, and at least to Sanji.
And he was like a legend back then.
Now, do you guys think that they're a hockey-based technique?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that Red Leg Zeff's uses with his feet, do you think that's a hockey-based technique?
That's a tough one. Because that's not hockey. I don't think. I think someone asked that in SBS if Sanji's leg turning white hot was hockey, but Oda said it wasn't.
So that's hockey. No, that was not hockey.
Yo, I think someone's like on YouTube. It's open, not muted. I can hear that.
Yeah, I exited out of YouTube specifically because of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's not.
Yeah.
Is it Admiral Black? Because I think you said someone was coming over.
No, I closed mine.
Oh, okay.
It's not me because I'm not even having. I don't have my mic on, so it's not me.
Yeah, I saw your mic icon said it was off.
When I'm talking, you can see the echo coming off of the far left. So whoever's next to Admiral Black, you're the one echoing.
I hear echoes.
So what's your friend's name, Axel? What's your name, guy? I've been talking to you. I don't know your name. Number one.
Takoyaki Store.
Yeah, you're the one echoing. What I think is if your speakers are coming out, then it's catching into your microphone.
I don't know. That seems like Goku to me. Goku, you're the one that's echoing pretty bad.
No, I barely turn my mic on. My mic's been off this whole time.
I think no one's echoing now.
Watch. I'm using my Astros, so there's no way I'm echoing.
I'm hearing music though. I'm hearing music, and there's no music playing over here.
Well, I'm using Astros, so there's no way I'm echoing.
Curse of the Echo.
The Echo course! You want my Echo! Come and find it. I left it all in one place. That East Blue greatness.
Yeah, I'm turning my microphone off. See if it stops.
I think it's gone now. It's gone now. It was there before, Brent. It's gone now.
Oh, okay.
We will never know. We will never know the mystery.
All right, who's the most underrated character in the East Blue, in your opinion?
Well, now Buggy's not underrated, but back then he was definitely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Jin.
I don't know. Was Buggy what he did in East Blue? Because I mean, he came after Luffy and got caught.
Other than the
Was he really underrated in East Blue, or did he evolve and get developed afterwards?
He returns in Loguetown, but people still, they said he was at one shot. He's not coming back or anything. He's really underrated from that point.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start getting any credit till, way forward and bring forward and stuff like that.
That's true.
For me, I
it
think
wasn't
that
impressive to me how he got his body back. I mean, that's true. He got lucky.
Actually, really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever see the scene? He I think takes out like a whole, there's at least 20 people. Mountain bandits, takes them all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was rather impressive. I didn't expect Buggy to be taken out. I know they're fodder, but
No, that kind of established how strong
it's
that
just
it kind of established how strong Smoker really is, though.
Oh yeah, because Smoker sweep them all up in like 1 second.
The question is Smoker actually really strong, or is Smoker? Okay, well, here's the reference I'm using. Smoker fought Ace and entered to the Whitebeard Pirates. Extremely strong, right? I mean, he works for a Yonko. I mean, he's a commander of a Yonko.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to go toe to toe with him. So the question is, was Ace just really weak, or was Smoker that strong that he's able to be a commander of a Yonko? Because Smoker hasn't really.
But I think it was mostly to show their devil fruit powers being kind of neutralizing each other.
Yeah, the Logia powers neutralize the Logia-ness, but Ace had a smile on laughing the whole time while Smoker was getting frustrated. And right afterwards, you show Ace just take out a whole fleet like nothing. So I don't think Ace is being completely efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just like just the devil fruits. The devil fruits, like even Ace said, this fight would be pointless. Smoke and fire would not. There's no way that there's gonna be a clear winner. So it's kind of like remember in Marine Ford when Aokiji and the Ace fought, and like it was like a 10-second fight, but like Aokiji, they just it was equal, because it was fire and ice. But Aokiji with his haki, Aokiji would have won that fight if Aokiji went serious. But like at that straight moment, like while they're using their
I think Ice was actually stronger than Ace's fire, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Ace's fire is surprisingly not that strong at all.
Oh yeah, Akino said that pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he's an admiral though. You're talking about an admiral. That's like it's not even a reference of ice. It's just a matter of skill. Like the admirals are beyond just a normal Logia because Smoker is a Logia. So being a Logia in itself doesn't make you stronger than somebody. It's more about how you use that ability. And I think Ace is just as strong as Smoker.
Actually, they did say that Kano's devil fruit is superior to Ace.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
when you go by,
when you're going
we're just talking elements here. Yeah, we're just talking elements here, not the individual.
The reason I brought that up is because.
And the reason I say that.
What?
Well, I say the reason that I said that Ace, Keiji's ice was stronger than Ace's. He went toe to toe with Akainu. He saw him one-shot Ace through his fire.
That's not really fair though, because Ace was handcuffed. He wasn't at full strength. He was just like caught off surprise. Like that's not the same thing as him going face to face with the
prior to the war. Ace was being starved.
Magma's stronger than fire.
Yeah, but Ace. Okay, but what I'm saying though is take any character from the series and let them get punched by that same punch in the back and tell me they're gonna survive. No one would, not even Aokiji.
Ace already got bested before that punch.
By him?
No, not really. I don't think if Akainu would punch Aokiji the same way, it would have had as much of an effect.
If he took a
because their elements are equal.
Like that?
Yes, because their elements are equal. It was just a punch. It's not okay, sorry. A normal ass punch. He didn't like go in, punch them, and his magma was so hot that he burned through him like it would any.
I can't.
That's Aokiji.
The thing about that though is
I'm only hearing half of what you're saying because you keep doing
What?
I said I can only hear like half of what you're saying.
you keep echoing like a robot.
Yeah.
So the thing about that though is Ace's fire is limited for some reason. Like Aokiji gets as cold as you want, and Akino keeps getting hotter and hotter, like he goes hot as he wants.
My opinion on Ace is that he's too strong for the story, so for plot convenience, he's written out. That's just as it is, because I mean, if you really look at Ace, he's just a 10 times better version of Luffy, and that's being honest. He's just like Luffy, but souped up.
Really.
Like
I think Ace was. I think the opposite. Ace was supposed to be one of those characters, and he was expand the story. I don't
for
think
me,
Ace was there.
Ace is the Itachi of this story. His sacrifice will inspire
Why couldn't he catch
Luffy to
Whitebeard?
go. Will inspire
Blackbeard,
Luffy
sorry.
to go further. Well, Blackbeard is OP. I don't think anybody in this series can stand toes with Blackbeard. I think like
I don't think so.
my whole theory on how it goes down is
Who
that
would have fought Blackbeard?
Blackbeard is gonna beat himself. That's what I believe.
I would say that Kuma actually can neutralize Blackbeard's devil fruit abilities. Because
what? Go ahead.
because what essentially Kuma can repel anything, and Blackbeard can draw anything in. So it's like what happens when those two meet.
Yeah. No, I get that. I don't doubt that there's abilities that can
and
counter
Blackbeard-
his. Go ahead.
One-on-one fight, I think Luffy would have won.
I can't hear everything you're saying, so it's hard for me to comment back. I just heard Luffy would won.
I said if Luffy was to fight Blackbeard and Jaya when they first met, I think Luffy would have won.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because even at that moment, they foreshadow there's more than one of him, like implying that he already has some deep power at that point, and his body's abnormal. And on top of that, if like you know how into pirate history Princeton is, so he's pretty much rubbed off on me, and I'm like reading nothing but pirate history throughout the last couple weeks. And the main thing I know about Blackbeard is he loses because of his arrogance. That's how Blackbeard loses his life in real life.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like I believe that my theory revolves around Blackbeard either A, taking in too many devil fruits and getting himself killed, or B, falling into the water and being the person that actually drowns. Because we see this happen and foreshadowed so many times that you're supposed to die when you fall in the water. And he's that silly character, and he could be that overconfident character that he builds up this giant thing. He's a Yonko. He has fleets everywhere, but because he sees Luffy like by himself in the distance or something, he's arrogant enough to think he could take him. And I think he gets on that little raft that we've seen in the very beginning, the raft that he loves, and he tries to ride that raft over to Luffy, and then something bad happens to him. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen that way, but I think something similar to that is what we could expect out of Blackbeard's death, opposed to somebody straight taking him one-on-one, because I think he's built up too strong. He's too OP. He's going to beat Shanks, and he's going to beat everybody else. So, like, why should somebody beat him solo? I think he beats himself because, especially on the factor that his name was originally supposed to be Everything D Teach. So since his name was originally supposed to be Everything D Teach, it's safe to assume that either A, he's really greedy, or B, he's going to attempt to get every ability.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I think on it. Obviously, I just went off a little rant there, but I'll let you guys chime in. My bad.
Well. Why ought to change from Everything you teach to Martial you teach? Unless it was for a reason.
What was that? One more time.
Oda changed his name from Everything you teach to Martial teach for a reason. Did he change his mind on I don't know, for example, his devil fruit? Like instead of trying to get all the devil fruit, he's just gonna get just a few?
Well, my theory on Blackbeard and his connection to his ancestors is that originally, he betrayed his original ancestor betrayed the D's, and I believe that it implies that their family revolves around greed, because every person's last name that is a D implies something about their family, and I think that his family is the greedy one that basically was scared and sold out the rest of the D's. And I believe that's how Cobra and a lot of them have an ancient weapon, is that connection, because they took that ancient weapon from the D's and sold it out, and that's how they gained their safe haven, and they were able to preserve their family. And also, you notice that when Blackbeard's a kid, he's crying. So obviously, he either himself or his family did something wrong. He's separated. He's not the same as the other D's. He doesn't have that optimistic attitude because he's been told some story from the past, like he did something wrong or his family did. So he's already carrying some kind of burden from the very beginning.
Yeah, I actually saw your theory on that, which is interesting. It was good.
I mean, they're just theories. Obviously, none of them are in cement. It's just speculation, but I think, it holds more weight to something that could happen in the future opposed to just not knowing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. How do we get to Blackbeard?
Yeah, he's not in East Blue.
I heard somebody say Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
I heard somebody say Blackbeard, and I just started talking about him because I do a lot of Blackbeard shit. I don't know. My bad.
What was your all of you? What was your first impression on Blackbeard when you first saw him in?
I thought he was a good guy. I I don't think you were asking me though. I don't know who he asked. He asked somebody.
Mixed impressions of.
I didn't strike. He didn't strike me as like the most evil person though. Like not at all.
Yeah,
Like,
not initially.
was the one body from a devil fruit, and he was being hunted by Ace. He was the guy Ace was. I would when I first saw him.
We should probably get back to Blue now.
I'm sorry?
So we should probably get back to topic of East Blue.
Okay.
So, East Blue. So, going into it, Loguetown. What do you think? Looking at Loguetown was some of the best foreshadowing going into the future. Like, okay, we know the whole thing, Luffy, all that, copying the Goldie Roger scenario. But aside from that, what do you think were some of the things that we've seen? Like, for example, when Luffy was traveling through the city, or when Zoro first got his sword and he was told the things about the cursed swords and all this other stuff. Do you think that implies to the future?
Well, I think the first cursed sword is, that's going to foreshadow him getting the other ones, because there's 3 stages, and he only got the first one. But they explain the whole 3 stages and everything. So I do believe it to be, he's going to get the second sword and the third sword or something like that. Because he's obviously not going to play the other 2 swords. Those are 2 swords that would be permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as, I think Smoker is good foreshadowing, how they brought up his whole rivalry and everything.
Yo, let me say this real quick. Do you guys like or dislike Smoker? What are your opinions? Because I've heard a lot of people say that he's like the weakest Logia, and he's all this, but he's not the weakest Logia by far. Because I can name a few weaker Logias off the top of my head. So, what do you think about that?
I actually really like Smoker. I think he's badass.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite character, non-Straw Hat character in the whole East Blue arc, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I like Smoker. I think he's very and he's one of Oda's favorite Marines. One of his. I like the development that he's made. I mean, you've seen him develop right alongside Luffy through.
You know what's the best thing about this live stream? It feels like Admiral's talking to us from another dimension, yo. he's like trying to communicate through the barriers and shit. He's just like, yo, this is my theory. I go, shit. It's too good.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Caribou?
I like Smoker because. Go ahead, Goku.
Oh, I was just gonna. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say, what's that guy's name? Caribou or Caribou? I think he's the weakest Logia I've seen. Or whatever his name
I would
is.
agree with you.
Caribou.
Yeah.
Oh, Caesar's pretty weak. He just abuses no one.
But going into the Holland though, Black, why were you gonna say that that's Oda's favorite character?
I didn't say it's his favorite. I said he
one
must
of his
be
favorites.
one of his favorite Marines because you've seen him evolve with Luffy. You saw him in Loguetown. You saw him in Alabasta. You've seen him alongside Luffy, and I think it's really cool to see him develop as a character. And I think when you look at him kind of as Marine, I feel like he's going to have a bigger part to play than he currently is right now. And yeah, he's not that. He's kind of big. I don't know. In Punk Hazard, he was there.
He's average for One Piece characters.
So let me ask this question because this is something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, we've seen him evolve and develop alongside Luffy through his journey, and I feel like maybe he's going to end up making either a turn or he's going to end up making a change. But I feel like Smoker might have his own kind of like revolution and a really big change. Just because of everything that he's experienced. Because, I mean, like, as a writer, why would Oda have him in Alabasta and Luffy save him? Why would he just...
So let me ask you something, because...
that goes to Punk Hazard and intercepts that call.
I personally, have been trying to work on some Smoker theories, and it's funny that you say the whole thing about his revolution, because I was thinking that, like, along the lines of maybe we see people like Garp, Sengoku, Smoker... and all of them form something like Zephyr did at first. You know how they were doing the Neo Marines or whatever they were calling it, how he was trying to start something different, basically, but of the Marines. I could see the Marines having a split towards the very end of the series once they figure out, like, once it comes to light what they did, supposedly this big crime that the Gorosei and everybody else committed. I could see that a difference in absolute justice to dark justice and things like that.
Yeah, I believe that something like that's going to happen because But I think just the nature of Smoker and Garp and Helmeppo and Kobe and Fujitora, in their nature, it's like they don't want to harm the citizens, which tells me that I think that if they're going to try to change the world government, they're going to try to change it from the inside through peaceful means, at least at first. And it might lead to some kind of civil war, but we don't know. I mean, it's too early to tell anything, but I think something's going to happen. Some faction is going to rise up, and Smoker's going to be part of that.
About Luffy?
What was that? What about Luffy? What did you say, Admiral?
Yeah,
I said that I think One Piece, just about Luffy and the Straw Hats, is actually the story between the pirates, between the Marines, between the whole entire world that One Piece is held place in, and it shows. One Piece started with a change of an era, and we're seeing how this era plays out. So it's not about Luffy; it's about the era of One Piece. So there's a lot of characters in One Piece that have in this development story that, like for example, Nami. She ain't a fighter, but her role is getting Luffy and the crew from point A to difference in Kingdom to help make a difference in all these places. And it's like every character in One Piece, like not every character, but a lot of the characters have very small but important jobs, and some people have more than others. Smoker and Blackbeard come in is that they're gonna have big things to do with their factions. You know, like I think Blackbeard goes to show that sometimes you pirates and you have people like Smoker who don't agree because Smoker has not agreed with the Marines at all. Just like Fujitora does not agree with the Marines, he does his own thing. And I feel like you have Marines that are like that because there's going to be a change that happens. And I feel like all of this is just leading up to a big change that's happening from one era to another.
Plus, there's actually going to be a huge thing about that.
What? What did you say?
I actually do agree with that. I've already have a bunch of huge theories in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of went on a little ramble there.
I'm back. Was anybody talking to me?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, good.
No?
We forgot.
What makes you guys like... What makes you guys fall in love with
that for a second.
character?
Just see if anybody noticed. Just throw it out there real quick.
I'm not hearing anyone.
They think about the East Blue that we have not brought up yet. Did everyone forget about Laboon?
I seen it pop up first.
Laboon was probably one of the biggest foreshadows of East Blue. And Croc, kind of find out he's Gold Roger's doctor.
That was pretty interesting finding that out.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of foreshadowing between Croc and Laboon.
But that's technically outside the East Blue saga.
That's technically where it ends, where that starts.
I thought it was the red line. Once they crossed over the red line, then...
And that's where they cross the red line.
Yes.
But still technically there. That's where they cross the line. That's how I see it.
So you're counting the red line as,
Yeah, I'm counting it as part of it because that's where they leave the East Blue.
Okay.
Because from there on, they're no longer East Blue. So that's kind of where I cut the line.
Okay.
Speaking about Smoker, when Luffy couldn't touch him when they're fighting, I feel like how is Luffy gonna be able to touch Smoker? Like the way they showed is like he's invincible. So that was like foreshadowing to Haki maybe.
Yeah. Because with Crocodile, it's water. NL he has rubber. But what the hell about Smoker? Like how would we get shown like elements, but what counts as smoke?
That's only
Mhm.
one.
It's like no
Yeah.
smoke here.
Yeah, like before even Haki, like that really confused me. Like, how the hell is Luffy gonna fight Smoker one time?
Mhm.
Welcome back, Admiral.
Hey guys, sorry, I got kicked for some reason. I don't know why.
No worries.
My computer's Anyways, what were you guys talking about?
I don't remember.
We're just talking about.
Smoker and hockey.
Smoker and hockey. What about Smoker and hockey?
We were talking about before there was hockey. No one knew how they're going to hit Smoker.
Oh yeah,
Then
that's true.
Then the Straw Hat said any hockey.
That's true.
I
Unless
mean-
you take his
Yeah.
Shetty and use it against him. He did kind of carry around his weakness.
Yeah, the stick.
Yeah.
Well, only the
Legit.
very
Yeah,
the very tip of it was Sea Stone.
Yeah, that was kind of cool though. How he's the first character to introduce Sea Stone.
Mm.
I've got a question. Was Smoker, in terms of brute strength alone, was Smoker stronger than Luffy when they met in Loguetown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
'Cause he just pinned him on the ground. It seemed like he couldn't even wrestle out of it.
I mean, he did grab him, throw him there. Luffy could not get out. Well,
Yeah,
Dragon had
Smoker was definitely a little bit stronger at that stage.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I like how he looked back to Dragon like he knew him from somewhere, like they met before. So like there's a theory that Dragon was an admiral, or he was in the Marines of some sort. You know, his father was a vice admiral, so you never know.
Wasn't it ex-Drake Rear Admiral?
Yeah, I thought he was a rear admiral.
I'm talking about
I
Dragon.
think so.
He disgraced rear admiral.
Oh, Dragon?
I'm talking about Dragon in Loguetown.
Oh, Dragon. Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You said he's a disgrace. Do you know what he's disgraced for?
They haven't said it yet.
What, for X-Strike?
Yeah, because I'm just about done with my theory on X Drake and Hawkins. I have a really good theory on them. I'm just looking for like one more detail.
Okay.
Like yeah, I won't talk about it because we're doing East Blue. But so
Well, I'm actually hoping they do touch upon that with Kaido, but yeah, that's not East Blue.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. Like, how did Smoker know who he was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Smoker knew exactly who Dragon was.
Like they were familiar with each other at some points.
Mm-hmm. So like that's what always made me like that Dragon was a part. Even like Dragon's father is a part of the Marines, so it wouldn't be a far-fetched that Dragon would be a part of the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that he used to be an admiral.
But yeah, with the whole east, west, north, south theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the elemental theory too.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, with this show, anything's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, another thing to notice too is like I'm like gonna do later today. I'm gonna do a discussion video on One World's theory or whatever. If you ever seen the theory about the Blackbeard's knife, about
Oh,
how
I
the
saw
knife
that.
or whatever.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
and then okay, and then on top of that, the new chapter that just came out. If you look at right before he attempted to attack Sabo, he pulled the knife out again, and he was like, he commented on trying to go for the fruit. It's on page 8. I have it on page 8. I already just like screenshot or whatever. It's like the third panel. I'll pull it up once I go. I'll just show you what he says.
When he tried to go after Luffy. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, he's pulled it out every time that he's made the comment about going for fruits.
Okay. I got an interesting theory about that knife too, but it's a bit different from everyone else's.
Yeah. So, and since One World doesn't have time to do videos right now, and he joined our group, I'm gonna do a discussion video on it later today.
Okay.
But so I guess back to East Blue. Going into the first or going into Tashigi. Nobody's brought up Tashigi. What do you think? You know, coming into the story, she's introduced right around that time, right when she bumps into Zoro, and Zoro's getting his new sword and stuff like that. Do you think that
And
has?
Kuina.
Yeah. Do you think that during that whole situation, that's foreshadowing with her connection to that sword, or in the past, or what do you think that's all about? What's your
I
idea on
think she
her?
just happened to be there because she was the only real swordsman at that point in time. So she's kind of needed to help explain what the swords are because Zoro wasn't gonna do it.
But yeah, she had like a book with it, and she was like, knew all these fancy swords by eyesight. You can tell
Yeah,
she's an
like
expert.
if she wasn't there, we wouldn't know that there was any other type of sword in One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or
there's
was it
no.
similar?
Well, hold on. The guy that originally gives the sword to Zoro, he explains a lot about the cursed sword as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he explains about the curse.
Yeah, it's not just her.
Yeah,
He's
but
the
he
one
wouldn't
that.
have told him had he.
Had Tashigi come in, he would
Yeah.
not have said anything.
Yes. That's what I was trying to
Sure.
say.
Yeah, she initiated the
There's one
situation.
that Tashigi looking like Kuina is solely for her to have a reason to interact with Zoro.
I think so. I think it's just a connection thing. I don't see it being because I mean, like sometimes you just have people that look alike. I don't really see anything behind that.
Yeah, One
Yeah.
Piece tends to have people who look alike, but they aren't related by blood. Like with Dragon and Luffy, they're father and son, but they don't look anything alike.
Well,
And
yeah.
Shanks looked a lot like Luffy initially, like an older version of Luffy, but with red hair. But they changed the design. Oda changed his design. I'm trying to think of anyone else that applies to. No one else comes to mind right now, but those are the two main ones.
Oh, that look like
Yeah, but aren't related.
in the story. Well, Oda apparently likes to copy skins because Nami and Vivi look exactly the same. The King of Alabasta and Kratos, I believe, from Dressrosa look exactly the same, just different facial hair. So there's a few characters in One Piece who are copy and paste of each other that Oda just remakes into a different character.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see there's someone in Mocktown who looks like an early version of Bartolomeo.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. It
Yeah.
might have been him. It could have been him.
Yeah,
He
it could
was a
have been.
pirate. He was a pirate beforehand.
I mean, it was a long time skip too, so that could have easily been him. He was
I
there.
mean, there's just a lot of characters that are just drawn similar through art style, and people just imply things. So there's a lot of mysteries in One Piece. Like that'd be like saying like if we were watching Dragon Ball Z and there was a lot of mysteries in Dragon Ball Z that like all the characters are related because they almost all look alike.
Yeah.
But there's no real importance. There's a lot of characters no importance, like the Panda Man.
So what about okay? Here's something. So in the very beginning, we see that Lucky Roo when Lucky Roo just pretty much just like wastes that guy with the shot.
You're talking about that theory of him having super speed or something like that?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
It's possible.
As far as him, or as far as him manipulating time as well.
Yes.
One about manipulating time. Have you heard that one, Admiral?
Yeah, I've heard them. I mean, they're possible.
What do you guys think, Axel and you guys? What did you guys think when you heard those theories? Whatnot?
I've read like question them, and I mean they do seem possible, but a lot of them seem kind of far fetched at certain points.
Yeah, they're a bit hacks, I would think, but I mean, but what wasn't it worked into a One Piece game recently?
Yeah, with Shanks having the ability to like manipulate
Pirate
time.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Pirate Warriors 3. He has red lightning. Like hockey, and he can manipulate time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which really makes no sense unless Oda actually plans to do that.
I don't know. We don't know much about Shanks. I mean, we did see him destroy, or not destroy, but he did damage Whitebeard's boat with his Conqueror's Haki. So
Yeah.
obviously his Conqueror's Haki is a little bit more advanced, probably the most advanced of anybody in the whole show. So it's not as far-fetched to think that that might be an ability that he has.
Yeah, so far he's been the only character who's been shown to physically damage things with his Conqueror's Haki.
Is everybody still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Got
thought
all
someone was
quiet.
talking, but the audio wasn't working.
I'm answering questions and comments.
So if you guys could see a rematch with anybody from East Blue and Luffy, who would it be?
Buggy. I'm just joking.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to see Kuro come back.
And I might
actually,
might,
yeah,
I'm gonna get dropped out.
Kuro would be cool.
Yeah,
I
I
want
want
to
to
see
see
Kuro
Gin.
get a double fruit. That would be cool. Like, could you imagine him with Moria's fruit?
Oh, no, he'd be axed.
Yeah, he'd be
I
aggressive.
don't want Curl back, but I kind of don't. His whole point of his whole arc was him disappearing from the Marines. I don't see why he would want to pop back up to that business.
Well, he was the man of 1,000 plans, though.
I mean, I see him with all these plans, but I see him making other big plans, but I don't see him hopping right back to the part business. I see him like trying to.
Well, that doesn't mean he has to go get a bounty. I'm just saying, do you see him having
Well, the whole
another
point
fight with
of
Luffy? Because he was there. He escaped from Impel, and we
the
saw
whole
him.
point of him for the whole you know how long it took to make his plan happen. All that was so he wouldn't get caught, so his bounty wouldn't go up.
Mhm.
That's why he's going to kill everyone on the island, so no one knew he did it.
That's true.
But so he has all these plans. So he's the one to do everything secretly. I don't see him popping up as a main character. More of a behind the scenes kind of thing.
I'd probably want to see Captain Morgan.
Well, the thing is, he turned out to be he have his own be the villain of the sort of village arc, right? He turned out to be the villain of that, and he was still working in secrecy. So who's to say that he can't show up again in a later arc as a villain, get his rematch with Luffy, but he's still working in secrecy because the Marines had no idea about him in Syrup Village. So who's to say they won't have an idea that he's anything involved in another arc either?
That's true.
What are you guys' thoughts on Gin from Don Kree's crew?
I want to see him again.
Yeah, like, cause he's pretty much this. I wonder how strong he's gotten.
I want to see Gin more than I want to see Don Creek, to be honest.
Don Creek,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I see him stronger, but not a whole lot. Gin, I can see a lot because he
Potential.
he has potential. He's more willing to work hard. Don Creek is trying to cheat his way around.
Yeah.
I see.
I agree. Don Creed was kind of a coward to me.
I see 2 Takoyaki stores.
Yeah, that's weird. I see it too. Huh.
There we go.
Yeah, my Firefox froze, so I had to come back in.
Oh.
That dude asked, "How do you think a video would react if she got her chance to get close to Luffy?" She was talking about getting revenge originally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Alvida?
Yeah.
Do you think she'll get it?
I think she's just more intrigued about him than.
Yeah, but he's the first guy to beat me and all that, and she actually never really got to do that. And when we see her in the time skip and stuff with his ship and everything, she seems more like in control of the crew rather than caring about Luffy. But
yeah.
If she were,
I think it's changed because she's been with Buggy for so long that I think her motives might have changed a little bit.
Yes.
I'm sure if she sees Luffy and Buggy sees Luffy, then they're gonna want to fight him because it is gonna bring back those memories.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a situation where only if the situation arises will she go after Luffy.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And that might happen for all we know.
So how different do you guys think the story would have been if any of the other 7 Shichibukai would have showed up instead of Hawkeye for Don Creek?
Well, it depends who it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Jinbei,
Okay.
I don't know what he would do. He might just ignore it, or he might stop them from attacking. He's
Mhm.
kind of humble. But if someone like Don Flamingo, he probably would just control people and laugh and enjoy the show.
Probably.
Really depends who.
Yeah, Kuma wouldn't have harmed Luffy, I don't think. But
Kuma was a very
Kuma-
interesting character. He was very
arrested,
chill.
if Doflamingo showed up, everyone would have died.
Yeah.
But like Don Flamingo or Moria, they would have
Yes.
killed everyone.
Yes, they.
Crocodile probably wouldn't have cared. Jinbei actually might have stopped Don Krieg. Kuma, I don't even know if he would do anything either.
I think Kuma is very neutral. He probably would have let it happen and just observed how it went down.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I don't know how Hancock would have handled the situation at the time.
Well, at the time, she would have despised Luffy and them, so it would not have gone pretty.
Mhm.
She would
Yeah,
have just
that's
killed
true.
anyone who got in the way.
It was a bunch of guys.
Or Sanji would have died for sure.
Yeah.
Sanji would be stoned and dead.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anime
Sanji
Salvation,
would be statue sunk in the sea.
making the comment section look live.
Anime
Although I do have a
Salvation.
question about that. If her devil fruit turns you to stone, if you fall in the ocean, would that cancel it?
Say that again?
See, if her devil fruit is what turns you to stone, if you were to fall in the ocean, would that cancel the devil fruit power?
I
I
think so.
because Luffy is rubber, and he's been able to stretch in water. But
No.
I-
Well, the thing is, though, the reason that is because you get weaker. It doesn't negate your powers. They just get weaker.
yes,
Like the weakness of Moria's zombies is salt, which is from salt water. You know, the
Mhm.
element of water. So I think it could apply. I think so. It's just what asshole would throw somebody that's turned to stone into water? Like that's a dick move.
I can
Yeah.
see Bo Hancock doing it. Turn
Yeah.
someone's stone into
Well,
mulch.
she breaks them. She breaks them. That's even worse.
That is true. If you watched like the Marineford, how she turned part of the head to stone and break it, they'd be freaking out because part of the head would be broken off.
Yeah.
Right, I
think
really
that's even
loved
worse.
I really loved her fight against Smoker.
Yeah, that was cool.
Something interesting that I want to point out about Devil Fruits is that the only time we've ever been able to see Devil Fruit powers completely negated has been with Blackbeard's Devil Fruit. It hasn't been Karaoke Stone or Sea Prism Stone. It hasn't been someone falling in water. It's only been the powers of the Yum Yummy No Fruit.
True, yeah, like because when
that's true.
when Luffy was in water, they stretched his head out so he can get some air.
Mm-hmm.
So he was still stretchable, and he's whenever he touches the sea stones like in Dressrosa or in like Alabasta, he falls down, but they still
melts.
rubbery. Yeah, he melts, but he's still rubbery.
Yeah, that's true.
And something I also want to point out about Devil Fruits is like if Devil Fruit users who are at Logias or Paramecias and they touch water, they tend to revert to their default form. Like I know it's filler, but Lily, she fell in the water and she shrank, and because that was her default form. And I think it's the same way with Logias because their human form is technically their default form. They have to physically, or they have to think about activating their power before they can use it.
I mean, if they panic and stuff, their power is going to start back to them because they're not dead yet. But if they have complete control over the underwater, I mean, it won't be as strong, but there should be some control because, again, it only weakens, not canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you guys think that there's any other weakness for Devil Fruits?
Well, like crocodiles, water, and stuff like that. Like, there's other weaknesses. And,
Yeah, but that's
well,
more
I mean,
of an
like,
elemental weakness.
other than elemental weaknesses, is what I'm saying. Do you think Oda will like surprise us with the new way of taking
Well, I
down
don't know.
Devil
There might
Fruit
be
users?
something on the moon that completely deactivates Devil Fruit users' powers.
One
That's
Piece.
true, because there's nothing that just negates them.
Yeah.
I mean, sea stones are the gate. So,
Do you think we'll actually get to see the moon?
I don't know if they would go, but I think they might. I'm pretty sure they might go to at least one of them. They're like 7 different moons.
Hmm.
That's how I see NL coming back. I feel like he's gonna hop from moon to moon with this Arc Maxim.
Yeah, I can see them going to the moon, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
We know there's that one. I think it's a moon when Capone got his ship rise to the sky.
Yeah, that might have been a low orbiting moon.
Yeah, it's like
Here's the answer to your question. If Morgan and Hepmepo meet up again, or Kobe and Avidia, do you think there'll be any, like...
Oh yeah, I think they'll merc. I think they'll take him down.
Yeah, they'll definitely take him down.
That's so symbolic if they do.
Well,
to
Kobe
get their
won't go to,
retribution.
because Buggy's Shikibukai, so Kobe can't touch Avidia.
oh,
She's one of his officers.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't think Doflamingo will let someone walk in there and take Pika out. So I mean, it's kind of like that. Like they got like immunity because of their.
That's true. But what if the system does get taken down though, and there's
I
no
really do
Shikai?
think it will, and
Yeah.
I
That's all that
believe
happens there.
It's just a matter of time.
Fujitora is gonna trump it, and Akinu don't even really believe with it either. So the possibility of it leaving before the Marines would change.
Yeah. Just that's gonna be bad because I mean, what's gonna happen to like Mihawk and all those people, all those really strong people?
Well, Mihawk
Right.
is fine. No one can fuck with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Kuma would probably be enrolled under what was her name? The Sitamaru Urban.
Sounds
And he'd probably be enrolled under her as a command under the pacifista because he's now a pacifista. But the rest of them are screwed.
Yeah.
Bella
Is
being
Kuma still
Garden Island 24/7. She wouldn't be able to leave her island anymore.
I have a question. What are your top 5 arcs in the East Blue?
East Blue.
Yeah.
Arlen Park is number 1.
Okay.
Probably Loguetown.
Okay.
For me, it has to be. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
Kuro, Buggy, and then probably was the what's it called? The Sanji ship. The ship
Barte.
Yeah, Barte.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I probably put that one top 5 is because of the Mihawk scene.
Oh yeah.
Although when Sanji, leaves, that was a good moment too.
Mhm.
As cliche as it sounds for me, I think that they go in the correct order when it comes from the weakest to the strongest. I feel like once you get to Loguetown, that's pretty much the strongest, working your way back down. And that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does feel strong in that way because each arc did build up more for it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
What about you, Takoyaki Store?
What was the question? I was looking at the
Your
comments.
top 5 favorite arcs.
In East Blue.
In East Blue, are there? Let's hang on. Romance Dawn arc for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Arlong Park. This is not in any particular order.
Okay.
Alright, just give me a second.
So, Axel, what are you going to talk about in the next one? In the next one of these?
Oh, the next one?
Yeah.
I'm starting right after they cross the red line. I'm going up to the point Crocodile's beat.
Oh, that's gonna be hype.
Okay, that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good one.
I already got Boris gonna be in that one already.
I'd love to be in that one because I just finished Alabasta, rereading it.
Yeah.
So that was fresh too. I think Crocodile is actually one of my favorite One Piece villains, to be honest.
I'll be bringing that one. I got to see everyone who's busy and whatnot, like who wants to be in what. Because I'm trying to revolve people so they won't be too,
Okay.
like so you get new people each one.
Okay, I feel you.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
I
a
invite
fluke
quite
that
a
I
bit
was
of
able to
people,
talk.
so I can have one or two people come back easy.
Okay, that's fine. Just let me know. I was happy to be in this one.
I'm probably ending the stream by 6 because it's been going on for like 2 hours then.
Okay. I'll probably be getting off in a few minutes anyways.
Then be at 20 minutes before I end.
Okay, cool. Let's see, what else can we talk about East Blue?
Alright.
I don't-
There's only 6 arcs in the East Blue saga,
Well,
but
East Blue actually has some of the majority of the sagas because they all PC has an actual introduction.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Oh,
All sagas,
speaking of
East Blue's
introduction,
biggest.
which crew member do you think had the best introduction?
Zoro, easily.
Really? Zoro?
Zoro, I think, had the biggest hype behind his
Yeah.
introduction.
No, not introduction. I think introduction had to be Robin, for sure. Her introduction, like the way they introduced her, because you're like, damn, who's this badass?
Well, I mean, I kind of saw her as an enemy.
Oh, outside of East Blue?
She's
Well, yeah. I'm saying in general. If in East, you can do in East Blue, and you can do outside of East Blue.
Okay. Gosh.
In East Blue, I would say Sanji had the coolest introduction. Outside, I would say Robin.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta say Usopp.
Really? You like Usopp? Why?
I love Usopp's introduction. Like his young
8,000 men.
yeah, and he has the flags. They're holding the flags, trying to get them to be tricked.
Luffy's dumb, bro, because he fell for it.
That kills me.
I think Luffy is one of the most lovable characters in anime.
Hmm.
he definitely
Oh, yeah.
is.
Like, he should be everybody's favorite character.
I know
Mhm.
some people that do get annoyed with film, but anyone who's watched the entire arc with him, they always end up loving him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I learned that you have the rest of his crew to help keep the balance, to help keep your sanity a little bit. Because Luffy drives me crazy, but then you have level-headed people in the group that bring it back down.
Hmm.
Well, there's something I have to mention. Luffy was very, very weird in Arlong Park. Almost the entire arc, he just sat there and did nothing.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he was very serious. Because, I mean, somebody was
It was
fucking
a
with
very
his crew.
serious arc.
If you notice, though... Well, no, I can't say that. Never
We
mind.
got a lot of Usopp early on, and we got quite a bit of Zoro. But
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Luffy is very quiet when people start to fuck with his crew. Like, if you mess with Luffy's people, he gets very serious.
Hmm.
We seen that in Zabodi. Celestial Dragon. Thought he could take Kimi.
I find it, for me personally, it's like, I like Luffy, don't get me wrong, but there are other Straw Hats that I prefer over Luffy. But the funny thing about Luffy is that I'm more interested in seeing other characters' reactions to Luffy rather than Luffy himself.
You know what?
oh,
Two,
that's true.
you know what? Two Straw Hats I want to see get a power up.
Who?
Nami or I'm sorry, not Nami. Scratch Nami. Chopper or Robin. I want to see one of them get Haki, armament Haki. Could you imagine
Robin
Chopper?
Robin
Robin
needs
would be amazing with hockey, with armored
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah. Yes, or Chopper's his the point where he has the big ass arms, the arm point. Could you imagine that with hockey?
Yeah, that would be pretty serious.
Yeah, I want to see one of those two get hockey.
Chopper is bound to get another power up. He constantly gets one.
Hmm.
Well, he did get a new form. I feel like that might be the power up that Oda decided to give him.
I mean, you got a power up in Alabasta, and then you got a new one in Sky Island, and then you got a new one in UP9. Like, he gets them really quickly. Got a new one
Yeah,
in Saboti.
I don't see Chopper getting hockey though. I don't see him getting that. I wish you would, but I don't see it.
I actually could see every Straw Hat getting some form of hockey one way or another.
No, I don't think everybody will. Not everybody will have hockey, and not everybody will have a devil fruit. I think they're gonna alternate.
But as for Conference hockey, that's gonna be loose only.
The only person I think that will get hockey else in the crew might be Robin. I mean, not Robin. I'm sorry, Nami. Because I feel like they might go to another sea that's not the new world. There might be another sea after that, and she may need observational hockey to be able to keep up with the weather. Because nobody really puts this together, but if you have observational hockey and you're able to predict things, can't you use that for navigating? To predict the weather, or if anything's going to come, or if there's going to be like a sudden tornado or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Right now, I would say that since the weather's now, like, doesn't have a conscience, it doesn't give out any sort of intention of what it's going to do. I would say no, but
that's not the case though, because I mean, who was it in Kuja in the Amazon Lily? I mean, people getting shot with you're shooting arrows, but they were dodging, right?
When they're talking, it's echoing out from you too.
Like Luffy. Okay, here's a good example. Okay, here's a better example. When in Fishman Island, when that guy would throw all those weapons, right? And he was miles outside of Fishman Island, but Luffy was able to use his observational hockey to feel them coming and catch them. He didn't know that through him. There was no intent. He just observed, he felt it, and he was like, oh shit, something's coming when he catch it.
Takoyaki, you're the one who's echoing when he talks.
Sorry, say it again?
But like someone talks, echoing and shows your heart going up.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you very well.
You're echoing.
I am?
Yeah, when you talk, your bars go up and you hear it.
Is it better now?
I heard it so.
Well, thank you, Axel, so much for having me. I'm gonna get off right now.
Alright, see you.
Peace out, Admiral.
Yeah, take care. I would love to be in another one of these in the future. Just let me know. And it was really good talking to you, Takoyaki Shop, and of course you, Matt.
No problem.
Yeah, hopefully we get together again.
Definitely.
Alright, take care.
See ya.
I'm probably going to go ahead and go too. Thanks, Axel, for having me on. Good seeing TheLegendmac for once. It's the first time I've actually talked to him.
Yeah, first live stream together.
Yep.
Actually, the first live stream was Axel too.
Yep, it's my first live stream ever, actually.
Oh. My first live stream, I was so nervous. You did a 10 times better job than me.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
All right, well, see you later. And it was kind of a odd situation. I just happened to be free today. Usually that's not the case, so this is kind of rare.
That's kind of the case with Goku of Light.
I'm sorry?
It's the same case in Goku of Light.
Oh, yeah. I know John Princeton tried to get me on, like 2 days, on Thursday, I think. But I couldn't. I was having internet problems that day. I live out in the boondocks, so it's the internet's kind of sketchy out here.
Just see you another time again. I'm sure you're right. See ya.
All right, peace out.
Stop.
It's just us, Mac.
And then there was 2.
We got 10 minutes before I'm closing this, alright?
Then you know what that means. Yeah, yo.
Give it up.
Draven.
Every time I see that song, for the next 5 to 6 hours, it's stuck in my head.
It's the only highlight of 4 Kids.
A
that's
whole
the thing,
budget
like,
with the theme song.
when I heard, and it kind of ties in with the East Blue, because when I first watched the East Blue, I was watching it on 4Kids, and I was like, a long time ago, like 10 years ago, like
I
around
used to think that was
2005.
a legit song because it was so good.
I'm like, yes. So when I was watching One Piece, I watched one episode of 4Kids, and I'm like, yo, this theme song is nice. That's what I'm talking about. I watched 5 minutes in, I was like, what the hell is this?
I actually watched 4Kids all the way up to the introduction of Arlong.
Oh. So you had to deal with Sanji the Life up to then.
As soon as I found the dubbed, I rewatched the whole thing, and then I rewatched the whole sub. I'm like,
Oh yes, I did the exact same thing. I watched the dub to like Water 7, and then I rewatched all that moments and plus it again. So I think I watched One Piece twice, all in all.
I have
And
a
like
problem when I
reread
watch
some parts.
anime because I'll be watching a dub, and it'll
Mhm.
randomly switch to sub, and I'll watch like 5 episodes before I find out.
Yeah, if it's me when I'm rewatching, I kind of have had that nostalgia because I know everything's gonna happen. So I'm like, oh, like damn, could you handle all this crazy things again? Like, could you handle all the epic moments in One Piece? Like that's why it's kind of hard for me to read. That's why I'm just rereading moments in manga when I get the time.
I'm constantly either rereading or watching little scenes.
Oh yeah,
I get very attached to my anime. Like, I get very emotional attached to them. And One Piece is probably one of them that made me cry the most.
Yu Yu Hakusho last episode was the one that got me like, oh my gosh.
You know, I can't rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho without crying on the first episode.
Oh,
Every time I try, I cry. I can't handle
because you know all the stuff in the future that's gonna happen, huh?
it. Yeah, and as soon as I see him get hit, I'm like, oh, it's coming. Every time they do is wait, and like everyone's speaking and everything, I lose it every time.
Oh, you know what's cool? In J-Stars, you can turn into the Mazaku.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like,
I mean,
oh, we have to die.
I just haven't got around to it.
Or are you getting play J-Stars?
I was planning to. It just, it's probably be a while now. I'm focusing more. I'm saving up for a mic to use for my better because my mic's not the best. I'm saving up for a fancy one.
Oh yeah, definitely. This one's not that bad. But you want to like improve your mic to make it tip-top shape, huh?
This may not be John's cast, but I just got Takoyaki just gave a shout out to Cowbeard.
That's bringing the Captain Log.
It's always the Captain's Log. I don't think I've seen Captain's Log without it.
I think there was one. Actually, no. I think there was one where it was not mentioned. I think it was mentioned like one time, but usually it's like mentioned. You see it a couple times in the like halfway point or in the beginning, right in the beginning to start off the stream.
Yeah.
But that's like the signature. That's like the signature of the stream, the Captain Log.
It's so funny because first it was just a bad joke, and now it's just you need it. It's not Captain's Log without it.
I feel uncomfortable without it.
You feel like home.
Yo, what do you so East Blue? We're gonna do next one. We're gonna do Alabaster. Are you gonna? It's gonna be you and Boris, right?
Yeah, and I was thinking about Admiral Black.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely watch that.
I'm gonna see who's available, and I might ask for some other people to come back.
Yeah, I'm good. If you just ask me if no one's news available, just message me and I'll tune in.
Okay. I'm trying to get at least 2 to 3, but I like having some. You know how we got kind of busy. I don't want to stay that busy the whole time, but I would like to have that amount of people like revolve around the whole thing, that come and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the perfect number is like minimum 3. For some reason, 2 is like, you know how like 3 you can see the bottom thing.
Yeah.
And 2 is just like back and forth like that. So yeah.
I want at least 2 other people.
Yeah, you have done more live streams than me already.
It's only my second one.
I need to get that copyright strike off so I can join in the live stream fun. Right, everyone.
One more question for you for the East Blue.
Mm-hmm.
In order, who are your favorite members to join Luffy's crew and why?
Okay, number one, my favorite members to join Luffy's crew are just like okay. So first of all, I had to say the first one has to be Sanji, man. The way it happened when he bowed down to Leg Zeff.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm more I'll be honest. I enjoy Zoro more than Sanji, but that introduction to the crew was too gold. Like that when he bowed down to him and was thanking him for all the things he's done for him. That got me. I'm not gonna lie. My second would be Nami's official join of the crew at Arlong. Because that really hit me like, wow, everything, all the work they put in, she stole the ship, everything. Because when she stole the ship, I was like, what is she doing? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are those? I was like, what is this? So then when we found out the reasoning and everything that happened to her, and she joins the crew, I was like, okay, this is good. So she's my 2. 3, I'm not gonna lie, Zoro was pretty epic when he joined the crew. Like I didn't expect it. I thought he'd be a villain. I didn't think he'd be a hero on the team.
I saw him as a villain, but right after
Yeah.
he says then join, I'm like, oh, he's joining.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, thank you.
I know how these shows work.
You knew it from Hiei, huh? And then lastly, I'll say Usopp. Usopp was kind of it was pretty much self-explanatory how Luffy is. Hey, you wanna jump? You wanna come? Oh sure, and he jumps on. I'm the captain. No, you're not. So that was pretty much how my order of them. I enjoyed the introduction of the crew.
More comical when he joined.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because he knew he wanted to join, but he was not trying to. I'm gonna start my own shoot. I'm gonna start my own ship, and he had like a fodder ship, and they're like, just come on, Zoro and
a little like fishy boat or something like that.
Yeah. Like, just please come on the ship. Then he got so happy. I'm the captain.
Nope.
Psych.
Like
You ain't about that life.
I think Luffy was screaming at him. I'm the captain.
I'm gonna be the pirate king. He said that, I would just cry.
Usopp,
Yeah, but
I initially didn't really care that much for him.
oh yeah, me too.
When he had that whole flashback with Chiyo, I was like, all right, I might like this guy. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I might enjoy him. But it hit me at Arlong Park that Usopp's my favorite character. Well, not Arlong Park, Alabasta.
Wait, Alabasta. Wait, the stuff, Mrs. Christmas and Mr. Four, yeah. Their tag team, what he endured that match
When he took
goes down in history as
a 10-ton hammer to the face or bat.
Oh my god!
Something like that.
Oh my gosh!
And he gets up.
I don't know how he survived. That's one of those famous ones, like pals.
One of those moments,
less
Usopp can endure just as much as Zoro.
Pain. That's the thing. Like they set it up, for him to be walking down in that epic line. I feel like that epic walk in Arlong is like foreshadowing for like the future.
That walk right there, I think those are going to be the 4 most important members of the series.
Oh yeah, that's me too, man. I definitely agree.
But per art, those 4 are going to be do the most stuff, and it's pretty accurate.
I remember how I feel like I don't know if this is this is just a guess, but what if Mihawk was on Shanks' crew?
He's actually
So what if Mihawk was representing Zoro, Luffy was representing Shanks, Ben Beckman with Sanji, and you see Ben Beckman with Kizaru having a little thing, so maybe they had past dues, and everyone says that Sanji's gonna fight Kizaru in the future. And then what was the last one? Usopp and Yasop. Yeah. So I feel like that had a kind of representation. Like if we get a flash with the Shanks, you might get to see that. Like kind of reference, like kind of related to that. Not too much, but a little bit, like each character linked to another one.
It'd be Lucky Roo.
Super. I'm just kidding.
I don't think Frankie's fast enough.
Yeah. So Lucky Roo's OP. I'm not gonna lie. Lucky, that's the only thing that ruins it. Because Lucky Roo's I think he's one of those main guys, Yeah. But
well, I mean, you can argue Jinbei, same build.
Yeah, Jinbei, Frankie, those 2 are the only guys. So I think
Frankie's like the bigger muscle, but I mean, like Jinbei got that gut too.
Oh yeah, Jinbei. And I feel like Jinbei's gonna join you like after
Either
this.
he joins or dies, and he may not
Yeah.
die because Oda don't kill many people.
Yeah, true. And it
And
would
then
like he's like the strongest fishman that we
I mean,
know
you
of right
feel like
now.
he's already planning to kill Shanks, and what about his crew? Like them, like would they die too? Like Oda don't kill a lot of characters, so you got to choose some like wisely.
Maybe because because a lot of like I don't know how Oda's gonna do in the end of the story because I think a lot of crazy stuff might happen like that might just surprise people like characters dying left or right, epic battles. Like the future of One Piece looks bright. A lot of people are complaining about Dressrosa being the longest arc, and to be
I don't
honest,
think
is
it's at all. It was the same thing with Skypiea. Everyone complained
yeah,
about
it's
it
just
when they're on the
because
arc.
a lot of people are
They said it's not
recently
important.
reading it
Don't watch
weekly.
it.
Yeah.
People
Oh
go
my
back to
gosh,
Sky,
I hate when people say that.
and they say it's the best.
Yeah, and people always say that you can skip Skype, it's skippable. Relax. There's a lot of things, important
Skypiea
things
is
that you
not
missed.
skippable.
Yeah,
Skypiea is one of
and
the
like
most.
and just the badassness of NL. Like you're gonna skip that, really?
Why would you want to skip
And
it now?
yeah, like even like, come on. And then the thing is, like a lot of people are just catching up and reading it weekly, and like they get a chapter like 791 example. People see that chapter and like, wow, One Piece. Oh my gosh, it's so garbage, One Piece. So what happened, Oda? Relax. This is Oda's been doing this for a long time. That's his style. And then
Yeah,
when a chapter like 792 comes out, oh my gosh, Oda, 10 out of 10. Great job, Oda. They never ever get a balancing rating where like it's at they never give it a an average rating. It's either really bad or really, really good. I never see it, you know? And that's why I see a lot of criticism.
only thing that gets me mad about the fans is when they read like art that's more build up or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they just complain and complain about it, even though Oda always does that and it always does great. Like the arcs are really successful.
Like this arc, if people reread this arc, the amount of stuff that happened, I can
We
name
read
Don
it,
Chinja
so
versus
like,
Luffy.
oh my god! But
Yeah,
when
I
you
can start
see
off.
when you see build up instead of that big finish you're waiting for, I mean you can be disappointed. But if you're not caught up and you read it as a whole, like that build up makes it so much better.
Definitely.
Well, it's
This
past.
is a good. I'm not gonna lie. This was a great stream, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And I'm actually think I might start doing Yu Yu Hakushow. I have like several animes I want to start. I'm probably gonna go a little bit to One Piece before I start another one. Yu Yu Hakushow is one of the bigger ones.
Oh, if you're gonna be streaming it?
Yeah. So I was gonna wonder
then invite me.
you'd like
Yeah,
to.
invite. I'm definitely down for Yu Yu Hakushow.
Yeah.
A lot of great things that I want to discuss.
I knew you for sure. Certainly, like after watching your reviews, I was like, I have to invite them.
Yeah, definitely. Yo, like the experience. I love the Yu Yu Hakushow.
Shout out
heard
to
when it was done.
TheLegendmac Yu Yu Hakushow reviews. Those are some sick reviews.
Oh yeah, thank you. I tried my hardest to, try my best to get everything. Thank you. Thank you for you're like, every step of the way you were there, man. So thank you, man.
Of course. I mean, I was enjoying it too much. I was like, it was like how you wait for next One Piece chapter update. Like I was like, where's that?
Where's that review? That actual greatness. Yeah, I get that. Like when people are catching up to your favorite animes, you want to see that review. There's one reviewer named JBD Uchua, and he was catching up to One Piece, right? And he's like a Naruto. He's the biggest Naruto fan. And I was like waiting, like, where's this? He would do a review on every single arc. Like he would watch an arc in like 5 days, 3 days, and he reviewed it. I'm like, wow, and he actually do a good job, talking about the great moments. I'm like, I understand. Like when someone's catching up to your favorite anime, you need to see that review, So yeah, really enjoyed it.
All right, well, this is in the stream now, so Xbox 4 signing off.
Peace.